Welcome to Movie Recap Central, your go-to source for all things movie recaps. Today, we're excited to bring you a recap of the thrilling sci-fi film, The Fifth Wave. As we explore the intricate plot, complex characters, and thought-provoking themes that make this movie a must-see. We'll take you through the 4 waves of alien attacks that have decimated Earth's population, and follow the journey of our protagonist, Cassie Sullivan, as she fights for survival and attempts to save herself and her brother. The film begins with Cassie remembering how it all started. A few months ago, Cassie was a typical high school girl, aged 15, residing with her parents, Oliver and Lisa, and younger brother, Sam, in a Cleveland, Ohio suburb. Her closest friend was Lisbeth, and she had a romantic interest in a football player named Ben Parrish. However, everything altered when unidentified alien crafts appeared and remained motionless in the sky for a considerable time. These extraterrestrial beings became known as the Others by humanity. The Others initiate an attack called the First Wave, that consists of an electromagnetic pulse, causing all electrical power on Earth to be eradicated. As a result, numerous planes crash, resulting in the deaths of numerous individuals. Due to the absence of a new source of clean water, Cassie and Sam are required to collect water from a lake located close by. As humans thought the attacks were over, then came the second wave. All coastal cities witnessed stronger earthquakes and more destructive tsunamis that seas valiantly raised and flooded all the coastal areas, resulting in a high number of fatalities. Cassie and Sam met the second wave on their way back from the lake. The earthquake brought down trees on their path while the flood made them seek to refuge on top of the tree. During the third wave, the Others alter the avian flu, causing individuals such as Lisbeth and Lisa to contract the disease. Lisa is laid to rest by Cassie, Sam, and Oliver in their front yard, as they bid her farewell. The trio journeys to a camp for survivors and stay there for a brief period. Shortly after, a group of military men arrives in vans amidst a large dust cloud, led by Colonel Vosh, claiming to offer assistance. The children are then gathered and put on a bus to be transported to a secure destination. Oliver hesitates, but eventually allows Cassie and Sam to leave. However, Sam leaves behind his teddy bear, causing Cassie to run after the bus to retrieve it. Unfortunately, the buses leave before she can make it back. Vosh informs the grown-ups that the fourth wave has commenced, and the Others are now utilizing human beings as their physical vessels, causing distress and hysteria among the adults who are anxious to determine who is genuinely the other. A shootout erupts, leading to the death of almost all adults, including Oliver. Cassie grieves her father's loss and decides to move ahead independently. Upon arriving at Camp Haven, a military training facility, a group of children including Ben and Sam are recruited. As part of their recruitment, they are assigned new nicknames, Zombie for Ben and Nugget for Sam. Sergeant Resnick meets with Ben and injects a tracker into the back of his neck. Resnick then seats Ben in front of a two-way mirror where he sees a boy strapped to a chair. Resnick claims the boy is an other, and shows Ben through a lens that the boy's skull appears green. She then hands Ben a button and instructs him to use it to kill the boy. Resnick notices that Ben is wearing a necklace that belonged to his deceased sister, using it to motivate him to press the button, which he eventually does. In the present day, Cassie Sullivan is walking in the forest while holding a gun. She stumbles upon an abandoned store and searches for supplies. Suddenly, she hears a cry for help and discovers a man hiding in the back of the store. The two of them point their guns at each other. Although the man puts down his gun, Cassie refuses to lower hers because he's holding something. She demands that he show her what's in his hand, but when he does, a bright light flashes from it, causing Cassie to become startled and shoot the man. Later, Cassie realizes that the man was holding a crucifix, and she is deeply upset by her actions. Leaving the store, Cassie moves through an empty highway filled with abandoned vehicles and numerous corpses. Suddenly, a gunshot hits her leg. She hears more shots and seeks refuge under one of the cars before losing consciousness due to severe bleeding. At the same time, Ben and the other children begin their military training. He becomes friends with a boy named Dumbo and they are introduced to Ringer, a tough girl who doesn't tolerate any nonsense. Ringer is a skilled marksman and teaches the children how to shoot after Ben successfully takes her down during training. After passing out, Cassie regains consciousness and realizes that she's being cared for by a young man named Evan Walker, who is treating her gunshot wound. Cassie wants to leave to find her brother Sam, but Evan cautions her against it, explaining that it would be risky for her to venture out alone without any protection. Cassie later discovers that Evan took her gun and concealed it from her. When she tries to flee, she triggers one of Evan's traps in the forest. Evan rushes to her aid and shields her as they both hear someone else with a firearm approaching. Colonel Vosh takes Ben to the control center at Camp Haven and informs him that the fifth wave is currently occurring. He provides Ben with a helmet that enables him to detect the presence of the other, making it simpler for him to eliminate them. Evan instructs Cassie in self-defense techniques involving disarming an attacker with a firearm and disabling them. Cassie shares photographs of her loved ones from before the invasion. As a result, Cassie and Evan quickly develop romantic feelings for one another. The children are taken to a spot where the presence of others has been detected. They observe several individuals with green skulls and fire at them. However, when Ringer removed our tracker from the back of her neck and they aim at Ringer through their device, they notice that she also has a green skull. Ben intervenes and prevents them from shooting her. Upon discovering that he too has a green skull after removing his own chips, he realizes that Vosh and Resnick deceived them and that they are the real others. The kids are the ones carrying out the fifth wave, as they are easy to manipulate and are being used as pawns to gradually eliminate the remaining humans. After observing Evan kill an individual in the forest, Cassie discovers that Evan is not entirely human. Evan explains that he was altered and the extraterrestrial vessel arrived, and he saved Cassie when she was shot by someone else from afar. He asserts that his affection for Cassie is causing him to become more human. Cassie flees from him and is later rescued by the military. Cassie is transported to Camp Haven and undergoes the same procedures as the other children, but she is able to promptly detect something dubious about Resnick. Cassie engages in a physical altercation with Resnick, ultimately killing her. Ben challenges Vosh about the reality of the situation, and Vosh confirms that he and the other members of the military are actually the others and desire to claim Earth for themselves. The base is subsequently infiltrated, and Cassie reunites with Sam after encountering Ben. Evan arrives and shares a final kiss with Cassie before he sets off an explosion at the facility. The protagonists flee the site just as it explodes, with Ringer rescuing them in a van. Cassie mourns Evan's selfless act, as she watches the facility being destroyed. However, Vosh and the other infected members of the military and child soldiers escape in a fleet of helicopters and fixed-wing aircraft. Afterwards, the children established their own camp, and some of their peers, such as Dumbo, joined them. Cassie concludes the movie by saying that despite their situation, they remain hopeful, and that hope is what is sustaining them. And that concludes our movie recap for Fifth Wave. We hope you enjoyed reliving the highlights of this epic adventure with us. From the thrilling action scenes to the emotional moments that tugged at our heartstrings, this movie had it all. We hope our recap helped refresh your memory or maybe even inspired you to rewatch the movie. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to our channel for more exciting movie recaps and other content. As always, we encourage you to share your thoughts and opinions in the comments below. Let us know what you liked or disliked about the film, and what you would have done differently if you were the director. Until next time, stay tuned and keep watching.